Hi.
Nicole Atkins, hi.
How you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for taking some time.
Yeah.
I love Chris Isaac's show too.
Oh,
Do you remember that? Was
I
it
wish that
HBO
we
or
could still
Showtime?
watch it.
Yeah.
It was Showtime, and he told me all about it. He's like, yeah, we improvised, and they can't put it out on reruns because they don't have the license to any of the music they played on it.
Oh,
So that's a bummer.
that is a bummer.
I stayed at one of his houses though once, and they had all of the DVDs, and I didn't know how to get the TV to work. So I was just like, damn it. But he had all of his costumes too, all of his sequins jackets.
Sure.
So I just had like a dress-up party.
That's great because watching the show, they seem like such nice guys.
They are.
Have you found the music industry to be full of nice people like that, or is that kind of an exception, or is it a mixed bag like people everywhere around the world, I guess?
think it's a mixed bag, like people everywhere. Like I've met a lot of people that were like shockingly bummers, and I've met a lot of people that it's usually the people that are really like great that are great. You know, Chris Isaac and Bruce Springsteen, and then now like I just made my new record in Muscle Shoals, and so Spooner Oldham and David Hood and Britt from Spoon and Binky from the Dap Kings and Jim and Moose from the Bad Seeds, they were all on my record. And they're just, you know, they play and they act like they know nothing, which is awesome because it means that they're interested.
Good deal. And you know all those names, and then you try and categorize, you know, what you're doing. Because
Yeah.
I play outlaw, alternative, classic country with blah blah. It's so hard to you know, define it. And one, how would you define it? But or do you need to? Why do you feel there's a, or don't feel there's a necessity to say, oh, this is the type of music I'm making?
I think that the actual music industry feels the need to define things, and a lot of artists don't. You know, like David Bowie didn't define, like every new album was where his inspiration was leading. You know, and that's how I like to live my life. Like I don't make enough money to have to limit myself, you know, but I've still had a career for 10 years. So I love 60s Broadway. I love old country. I love you know, cabaret doom rock. You know, it's just all of the things that really speak to my soul. Those are the things that are going to go in my music, you know.
And it changes over the years, you would say?
Yeah, or I wouldn't say it changes, but the catalog deepens, you know. And I remember always being in a rush to, you know, when is it going to happen for me? And Jim Sclavunos from the Bad Seeds, he's been kind of my rock dad. And he always tells me, he's like, Nicole, it's not. I'd be like, I'm 34, I'm old. And he's like, you are not old. And he's like, I'm 61, and I'm just starting to like hit my peak. And so his suggestion was to think of it as a life's work, you know, an arc of a life's work. And I didn't get that until last year when we were playing in London, and it was a sold-out show at O'Meara, and I was playing from like all four of my records, and there was like, you know, crooner ballads and like heavy 70s rock, and everybody was just hanging on every note and word, and I was just I had that like eureka moment where I was like, man, when I'm 50, things are going to be really cool.
Yeah, that has to be really uplifting and inspiring. You're a comfort in your own skin, for lack of a better term. And I don't know, to me, like, it seems pretty genuine.
Yeah.
That you're just, you know who you are, you're comfortable with it, and I find it very, you know, refreshing and delightful.
Thanks.
Where did that come from? Is it something you've always had?
No.
Or?
It actually came from a very specific thing. 2 years ago, I fell into a 11-foot sinkhole in the parking lot after a gig, and I woke up in the bottom of it, and it was about a centimeter away from my tailbone. And so I woke up to my keyboard player saying, "Can you grab my hand?" And I'm like, "What?" And then I see him, and it's raining, and it's like, I just remember walking up this little hill into the parking lot with him, and he's like, "You fell into a hole." And I look, and I just see all of the rocks around me, and I was like, oh my God. Like, it was the scariest thing that's ever happened. And I just realized, like, that life is so short that you could die in the parking lot of a Baymont Inn and Suites. And it got rid of all of my anxiety.
So a near-death experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, got you.
Yeah. I just think a lot of people worry about the wrong stuff, and myself included. I felt like I wasted a lot of time worrying about the wrong stuff. Like, you know, I need to be this, or this needs to be, you know, more like, you know, I got into the Americana scene once I got a Nashville zip code, which I thought was funny because I've never been called that before. And I was just like, oh no, you know, they're generalizing me. And it's just like, oh, just play music for people.
And that's what I wanted. And this has been such a positive talk. I don't want to start bashing anything, but we got to talk a little bit about pop country and Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
And I read in your Rolling Stone article about the algorithms, and you were being asked if you have any songs with the word miracle in it, because that kind of attitude towards music. And again, we don't have to, you know, tear people down or anything, but how do you assimilate that in living there in Nashville?
I really have made a career on writing songs that I'm in love with, and I'm good with that. You know, there's an emotionalism that's lacking in popular music, and I think that the more you do it, the more it'll catch on. You know, they tell people a lot, if you just do this, you'll be able to do whatever you want after, and that's the biggest lie in the world. You know, it might be true for a couple people, but, you know, if you write like some dog shit pop song, you're going to be known for that dog shit pop song. You have to live with that. And I just feel like I'm too much of a snob to, you know, put music in a category of commerce. You know, even though I do make my living from it, but I just don't want to do anything to leave a stain that's bad. You know.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
No.
No, this has been great.
I do want to touch that cat, though, that keeps
I know.
walking
I want to get
by.
some B-roll of that cat.
Crazy, crazy, yeah.
Did you get him?